with Secret and Yard control, but it looked like on Inferno they were more than happy to sit back. They only started going aggressive out of necessity. So if that plays a similar hand, then they might just be better off being passive. But it looks like we're going to get underway here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as Nuke, the second map of the first best of 3 of the day, is about to get started. We have full armor coming out from the heroic side once more. No kit, that means the afterplant scenarios get a little bit juicy, but the same can be said for Rise, who have got 5 Glocks with 5 sets of armor as the ramp attack. Here's where this one's going to take action.
They throw their decoys out, trying to screw around with the noise on Nuke. Rise Nation love to do this. Look at that. Already charging in through hell. They've got no clue where they're coming in from. CT is all of a sudden in question as Ace kicks this off. And look, they expected it to be that fast B hit. So while Yugi finds a headshot and doubles down with another, it's already being responded, but CT is holding their own here. They've already boxed Moose into the corner, and so VSA to clutch. CT is lining up for him. At least that's confirmation, but he needs to win the duels, and he won't. A nice attempt by Rise Nation catching Heroic off guard, but it's not enough to get them through.
Yeah, very quick play there. Chaos was the way, it was the key word in that one, but S-Tag and Yugi really riding the ship there. 2 and 3 kills respectively for those two. Diffuse will come in, and it looked messy, but hey, they got the job done in the end there. Some nice shots from S-Tag.
I think that was a critical one as well onto Moose. Had he been able to push forward, get closer to the yellow rafter, then he's got cover, he's got a bit of spacing, and it's not just VSA alone on site, but at least it's a bomb plant.
Yeah, something to go towards there. They can get the guns up next round if they want to. We see a couple of P250s coming out across the board. Smoke grenade in the hand of VSA, so this might want to be like a secret or vent play to opt for another plant. It does look like that's where they want to take the action. They want to be making it swiftly across to the yard section, and not really having too much of a fight coming out. Yugi up towards the air conditioner. This is such a great spot, I believe, especially against these pistols. He's going to be able to take shots. He's going to be able to take fights all day. Oh, as I say that, he doesn't like it. I don't like this play. He just wants to drop off.
Gets dinked as well. 6 points of health left over. P250 at a distance.
Yeah.
He's going to reposition down towards lower as well. So this actually creates a bit of an opening for Dazzle to start working around. And then it's up to Snappy trying to get information here. And not just information, but some success. Picking up a frag versus Moose and leaving it down to the 5 versus 2. Ace trying to come into the A site will lose his life towards Nico, and that's just the round pretty much done. Unfortunately, seeing as they had an opportunity here.
Yeah, and surprisingly, a lot of territory was taken, right? I wasn't expecting that to come out early. Snappy now, he just wants this kill, wants to farm, but he's going to be the one going down, and Dazzle picking up a kill if he can just dance around for a little while longer. There we go. That's what you expect, right? This is where the gun round's going to happen. We're going to see the AKs come out. Now, we're not going to be looking at a lot of utility. They should have enough smokes if they want to go for the secret cross, which is bread and butter for most people. But this is where maybe what you're talking about, the fact that this isn't their wheelhouse. Maybe we'll see a new strategy or a different strategy or something that isn't part of the European nuke meta coming out to play. 5 smokes, 5 flashbangs, not a lot to work with, but the firepower definitely falls in favor of Rise Nation.
Almost expect Heroic to just maybe throw down those early mollies towards that A site, maybe anticipating a faster play. Something Rise Nation proved they could do on Inferno, but it is in fact the outer yard that will be attempted. A gap in the wall.
That's the Molotov play probably coming in, right? Yep. That's been getting lobbed in quite a lot, and that is something which you're going to have to adjust very, very quickly if you're Rise, because this is going to hamper any rhythm, any T-side plan that you had in place. That Molotov is it's a juicy one. I'm glad to see it coming out early.
Literally game-changing.
Yeah, I think, there's ways that you can adjust with it. You can probably exploit it. They're going to be looking for that gap. You can boost someone up on the red box, change the way you peek, and take some interesting duels. But it's still very early in that meta shift to see how teams are going to address it. And Rise, to be fair, didn't have a lot of options. Sure, they could have just postured. They could have waited out utility, and then they could have opted for something late or to mid-round. But they went for the fast play, which was something that worked for them on their Inferno T side. Pretty slow now.
Crept themselves closer towards that A site, but they've also used Moose to find a response on outer. You could see him, as you said, trying to find a different angle, trying to find that opening, and he certainly does. And with Jonji just beneath him, they could very easily try and split into this A site. They've got control of Squeaky Door. Snappy's position would give up that footing towards Vent. They decide to just change direction, reroute, and hit the B site.
Oh, you can see him, Snappy? Oh, bloody hell. Snappy's going to grab 1, 2. This is going to be the third. No, he's run out of ammo, and his ace is going to take him down, finding himself in a 3-on-1 situation. 10 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, he's done for unless he can really bail them out here and now. He's actually cleared out the site, so desperation plant. He's got a hack, go for it, and he's actually going to find this in. If Ace can find a couple headshots, that would have been nice, but Yugi's already got his numbers. He was being wrapped by Modi, and so Rise Nation, at least finding a bomb plant, some kills.
It got messy there for a while, but I really like the patience coming out from Rise. They don't really get too flustered when they're down a man. They're able to just wait and find a kill. And it doesn't seem like they get shaken, which is good. You know, normally teams who are young or they're in their infancy stages, when it gets late round, the nerves start to get there and people make mistakes. They didn't make too many trades, but they're able to get the bomb down, like you said. Ace is able to grab a couple kills, keeping Heroic relatively honest. But here's the problem: Yugi's got his favorite gun. He's got his AWP, the big green.
I feel like in particular, while Yugi's always a beast, especially so here on Nuke, really cementing the success of Heroic on the map would be his comfort within it. But he doesn't get over-ambitious, doesn't look to find the round-winning play. Instead, they're just going to allow for Rise Nation to show their hand with a cross on outer. Yugi misses a shot.
Yeah, I don't think you expect a player just to run across, not looking. They're normally the hardest shots to hit, right? Where they're not looking at you and they're just moving in some really awkward manner. Secret control's been established. Snappy's had to use his utility to stop the flood, the torrent of T's from busting onto his bomb site. But Moose once again towards that yard section, finding S-Tag. That's 2 in a row for him. The Julies up top of the ladder right now are going to need a ring true if Yugi wants to hold this part of the map in the CT's favor. The rest of the T's, once again, with this patience, they're just kind of chilling. They're taking map territory. They're not too worried. And BSA finding a kill as well. So things are looking good for Rise Nation on this bit of a eco round. Pistol buy.
Ooh, Snappy might get caught off by that position. He does. John G with timing and a third frag. They haven't actually lost a player here from Rise Nation. And Moose can just provide an anchor now towards this outer control. If anybody steps above him, well, he'll just mow them down from beneath. My, oh my, Rise Nation making something of this round when they really had no business even with kills, really. But here's the bomb plant down towards the B site. Still 3 T's standing, and one of which will be inside of Toxic.
It's curious, like the question mark is here, you're still going to be able to buy next round-ish if you're Heroic. Do you give away an AWP? Do you give an M4? And the answer is obviously no, as they both look to be making their way downtown. Faces past as they're homebound. Yeah, Vanessa Carlton, are you a fan?
Of course.
Is she Canadian?
I wouldn't know.
All right.
Still an all-time classic.
Matt will probably hear that and make a tweet.
He'll probably chew me apart for not knowing whether she's Canadian.
I think you could probably write a really good Counter-Strike song to that. To that Vanessa Carlton song.
Have you ever seen that clip of somebody walking around Cobblestone to the sound of silence? Where the lyrics of the song match up to the actions that he's doing.
Oh, that's creative.
I'll show it to you later. Fun stuff.
Some people have too much time.
Says 2 guys talking about video games.
Look, mate, this is a legit career. Better than digging holes, I'll give you the hot tip. All right, so the force buy, or the buy has come out right now from Heroic. They've been able to scrap it together. Snappy on that UMP that he has been relatively proficient with thus far. Utility not in their favor, but enough to hold the T's at bay early, as once more they're just going to spread. They haven't opted for that wall smoke outside ever since that Molotov came out early on the first gun round to be the thorn in the side for Rise Nation. But this is kind of where they've been thriving, these mid-rounds, the aggression that comes out from Heroic. The information plays have been stopped left, right, and center, and that's why they're able to pick up that eco victory. Here we go. So it's coming in later. This makes sense, right? You can also change the wall. You don't necessarily need to go for the same one. You don't need to go for that that one across the red crate to warehouse. You can throw a couple of deeper smokes if you want to. Maybe make your life a little bit easier.
How do they deal with Yugi posted up, though? Before, he was playing more patiently towards Heaven. He will hit the flick, and of course, EC tags in a prime spot to then finish that off, and he does. Moose tasked yet again to try and find an answer to this early loss.
He's able to get away here. I'm surprised that they didn't try and get him while he was up close and personal here, but through the squeaky door, Yugi might find someone straying a little bit too far.
Sure enough.
All right, mate. Easy as that.
I like that Dazzle tries to do the uncrouched, right? He's trying to get ahead of the angle and find him by surprise, but Yugi's having none of it. No funny business today. Not after that one round from Rise Nation, which again was an opening that I don't even think they would have expected to find.
It was a gift, early Christmas present from Heroic to the Canadians as they opt to save.
It's one of those, sorry we beat you in the 30th round, nice try to come back kind of.
Yeah, Yeah, they're giving hope to all the viewers out there. This is the thing. Like, this isn't action-packed. The way that these teams are playing is very slow and measured. When we got that comeback happening, that was the most exciting, some of the most exciting plays. Obviously, we had Yugi doing some flashy stuff. That pistol round clutch was very nice, but it's not fast Counter-Strike, right? They're not running into each other. It's not a clash of individualism. It's mid-round decision-making. It's waiting for utility. It's reporting back to your in-game leader. It's doing all the things that Counter-Strike nerds like myself love to see.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and hype it up a little bit more.
And I think it's doing some of the things that maybe a lot of players wouldn't have expected Rise Nation to be trying to pull out of the hat, right? A little bit of depth.
Playing with respect as well, and they've actually forced Heroic to respect them due to that comeback, right? So we are seeing Heroic taking this not more seriously because they won the first half 13-2 before, but it seems like maybe they got a bit of a shock from that one and they want to try and stamp their dominance here. As once more, another slow start to the round, just setting up, waiting out utility. 30-ish seconds before any real decisions are made. Ace is a bit of a gander towards the yard, and that wall smoke will come out once more.
I like the Molotov towards Secret to prevent any kind of a peek or a push up into the cubby there. If they play off of the wall, then they'll certainly assert themselves in Secret. And sure enough, they creep by, at least sending Jonji on his lonesome down into the depths.
The clock's a real issue here for Rise, right? Normally this is happening within the first 20 seconds of the round. You've got Secret control, you force the rotation, you bait out utility. Right now, they're having to wait 30 seconds, then do the wall smoke, then take control, then hope he doesn't go down, which he's going to as Modi picks up from the stairs, grabs his head, S-tag with one of his own, and Ace wants to follow up here. He's unable to connect. He can grab that bomb, and it looks like a top split might ensue.
Really damaging round right now. Moose, last man left, finally finding a frag, but only one to the favor of Rise Nation. So you can see them definitely going through the motions, piecing together the setup, and then once they had that setup, it all came crumbling down around them.
We're going to need a pace change, right? That wall smoke early being stopped by the Molotov, that sucks, but use that to your advantage. Know that gap's there, maybe play around it a little bit differently. Get the wall smokes up, get people over the top of yellow, get flashes going. Force those players, those CTs who are now going for frags instead of playing the rotation into duels that work in your favor. Adapt on the fly. This is what we need to see. We'll be on a pistol round. It will be a pistol buy, right? So we have seen success, so let's, once more, an early start for Rise.
However, the frag grenade and AK of Modi is going to be the next task. And it's going to be a tough one. They will start to come off of the flashbang, and Modi, not fancying his chances, will put down the fire. Tries to secure an exit, but actually Yugi here bails him out. Op shot to the brain of Ace. And then here comes the re-aggression. Modi with perfect timing. He sees the window of opportunity and then shuts it on the fingers of Rise Nation. Caught in limbo there as they weren't quite sure where they wanted to go. And again, that's something that they have been doing nicely, is getting themselves into a position and then kind of falling back, contemplating their options and re-aggressing on their own terms. But Modi takes this into his hands. Yeah,
good decision-making by Modi there to kind of take that fight. You can play timid to a point, but this is the thing. I was saying that I was hoping Heroic would opt to be more disrespectful early on. Oh, we're going to see the wall smokes. It looks like they're setting up for them, and it might be just that. They're taking it slow and steady. S-Tag has been a bit of a nuisance in his aggressive position. These smokes are coming out earlier than we've seen thus far, so this might give them the chance to get to Secret early, force those rotations, but S-Tag pushing through the smoke. He's about to be met with some terrorists, some very angry terrorists as Dazzle goes down and they get the trade.
There's Moose from above. Still that gap in the smoke, notably. Yugi misses his shot, so it's going to be Snappy tasked to hold lower yet again. Remember, Jonji caught him off guard prior. Oh, Yugi missing another, what should have been easy kill. He's being offered Jonji's body, but doesn't take it until now. Third frag into the round, and here's the follow-up. Ace with an AK gets himself something. Moose still has this positioning, and we've seen him come into the late fray by wrapping in through heaven. Problem is the bomb is so far away. It's just very disjointed. And yet, look down. Oh.
Hola.
All right, a little discipline, pans out.
Just making sure he's got all his options covered, you know? Modi lurking in the vents right now. So the bomb is going to be making its way back towards Annex, as I like to call it. And Moose with top ladder control is fantastic. This top side should be theirs for the taking. It's very difficult to retake from that hut position for Yugi with the AWP. Modi's going to have to put in some form of distraction, but it looks like he wants to make his way back through yard. Bomb will go down. A little bit of utility, but doesn't really need to be used as Rise. Moose just needs to hold strong, but quickly vacating that position. To get up on that yellow bar. Knows that there's one from Hut. They yet to know where Modi is, but as I say that, bullets ring out.
Ace just serving as a distraction here. It's really Moose's position that should come up big, but Yugi stops him and Ace can't clutch it out. Not being pinched on the site like that. Moose was in the playmaker position there.
Should never happen. They should have had that one in the bag, right? Yugi shouldn't be able to get anything done from where he was in Hut with that AWP. I'm surprised that Moose left top of Rafters, right? They had no idea that that was going to be clear. That was a big gamble by him, which could have potentially led to the retake falling apart anyway. Regardless of that decision, it still did. But we're seeing a pause come out from Rise Nation. It is a tactical pause. I guess they're either just going to chill out, talk over their shortcomings, or come up with a new game plan. I think secret control early is definitely important. You don't need, like, and even if they don't go for the control, the smoke wall to take the jewels. I think that is one way for them to force fights. We know they have no problems with the aim, with the heads-up battle, so maybe that's where they need to take it. It is a hard adjustment to see, though. It's not, they don't have the benefit that I do of seeing how this is all playing out. So, lucky me.
Lucky us, Chad. It was a slow start on Inferno as well. I mean, it was not just slow start. It was just a poor T side. Excuse me, CT side.
CT side, yeah. The T side is the only thing anyone had going for him. Here we're finally seeing some CT side prowess as S-Tag is doing pretty good. He's got 10 frags on the board. Modi with 7, 8 on Yugi.
Classic.
Top rush.
Right after the pause, they go for the fast play. Snappy just kills 2 straight away and even finds Moose towards the end. I believe that's 3 Molotov frags in a round from Snappy.
Yeah, Snappy's Molotov there torched all 5 players. Thanks, Valve, for your very in-depth little tidbits. One came in handy for once again. That's what you normally see, right? You see the hot Molotov, you see the squeaky Molotov, and you also towards ramp would see a Molotov there. And that was your beginning of a round normally for the CT side. And another buy round, another force, another mixed situation from the guys from Rise Nation here as we have a Scout, CZ, Deagle pistols. This is where they've seen success. I can understand why they wouldn't have any problems throwing that one out there. You know, an option that they could be going for here is Yugi takes down Jonesy. We could probably talk through this one. It's not going to be too much action. But it is go for like a Snacks-esque play, right? You know, Snacks, he loves to throw that smoke towards the nades open Squeaky, throws the smoke, which puts out the CT's Molotov and drops down the vent. Like we've seen Moose do here, this is another way to force that lower rotation if you know that the outside situation isn't panning out. So maybe opt for that, then throw in the wall smoke, then allow to, they've been given ladder control quite a bit once they've found an opening kill or territory. That could be a way to look at it, but it's hard to innovate these kind of things on the fly, especially if your players, I don't know the situation within this Rise Nation team, aren't feeding you the vital information, the bits of, the juicy bits of content.
I feel like it has been Moose to be that like one-off layer, at least with any kind of outer play. He was wrapping rafters pretty frequently. This time he does get down vent. I actually mirror your sentiment here, and I'd love to see him try to get down here with a gun as well. Just make Heroic a little uncomfortable here. Again, they're more than happy to be playing on Nuke right now. And it's interesting, actually, if we just, want to go back to the veto for a moment. Like, these teams have very similar bans. Cash not popular as well, so like, I don't know, I can't remember off the top of my head what exactly Rise Nation got rid of, but a little part of me kind of felt like Nuke would be on the table today. And a little part of me figured this was how it was going to go. Heroic with a commandeering CT side so far. We haven't seen too much of a shakeup from Rise Nation. This could be the round. This is the opportunity. They are back in with the buy. So can they make it work? They spread themselves around. Gonna have some footing inside of lobby. A little man on top as well. Breaking out the windows. So again, trying to add a layer of discomfort here to Heroic.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot to shake them now. They've got that economy well and truly built up at this point. One would hope. Haven't been investing in anything too ridiculous. And it's just that one Molotov looks like it threw a spanner in the works of Rise Nation from the get-go, from that first gun round. Now they're just going to have to opt for later plays, maybe a change in their approach, and that's like difficult to deal with. Looks like they want to be heading towards ramps, and Yugi's there. Wasn't baited out by the jump at all. Takes down Ace. 4v5 advantage early, and getting away through the Molotov as VSA. He had the bomb there, so makes sense for him to skedaddle out of town. But Jonji has, in the meantime, found a bit of room. Moose going down to Snappy, and everything's just falling apart for Rise. They're definitely not on that direction. They're on the fall.
It's a curious situation there where Moose decides to push in through Mini. I feel like with Jonji down below on a gun, you kind of give him time to obscure any defense. He could wrap around over towards ramp really if need be, especially with VSA creating the distraction there and taking the attention of Yugi. I mean, look at this. Here comes Jonji. What if Moose had waited? What if this was still a 4 versus 5? I mean, it's not too far gone. Jonji finding the first and second. So here's that opportunity. They're going to get their opportunity to just push straight down ramp. They're into the B bomb site. Jonji having made this chance now for the T side. And Snappy just offers up his back. Bit of a gift here for Rise Nation. Another one.
Yeah, never give up your back, because Nico completely locked out. Smoke in his way. They know where he is. Bullets have been spammed out. He's left on a 1-on-3 situation. Lots of utility left for these Rise Nation players this late in the round. I don't see a lot happening here, but the best thing you can hope for Nico is just a couple of frags. Just keep him honest as he leaks out, and Dazzle's going to shut him down. That's Jonji. That round's all on Jonji there, right? So we can talk about that pistol round where everybody contributed. They found territory, and then the frags just kind of fell in their favor. This is Jonji finding space, finding 2 big kills. This second one here, very important. Yugi didn't have a chance to react.
I actually want to kind of retract some of that criticism to Moose on the mini play, because I'm not 100% certain. And we didn't get it in the replay, but I think he might have actually broken the window in control at the same time as that gunfight.
Okay, well, that's a benefit.
Yeah, I mean, we see teams, I think, like, Existence always calls for it on LDLC, where, like, they'll break the skylights at the same time, so they make the glass sound at the 2 same times. But just that duel, because it did kind of stand out to me, right, as a bit of an anomaly. Like, you have your team setting up for ramp control, VSA's firing off the op and creating the distraction, trying to bait them in, and sure enough, you know, maybe something had to be thrown away in order for Jonji to really come in big with that opportunity. So, not a critic.
Well, they won the round. Let's just assume that it was intentional or intended. I'm going to see Heroic they don't need to change anything up, right? Heroic can just keep doing the same thing. They don't need to mix it up too much at all. Just keep throwing the same CT look at the Rise Nation guys, but Moose on top of Silo. Looking to see if he can find anyone over-peaking, overextending. Yugi might be that man if he picks too far. Are we setting up a flash? What's he doing? What are you doing, Yugi? What's going on, buddy? Anyway, the wall smokes are coming out. In the meantime, this means that secret control should be collected, but S-Tag's going to find a gap. He's going to find Jonji. He's taking him down, and there should be a man above him. Bullets rain directly down on his head, and the trade comes in once more.
Maudie feeling a little bit of discomfort towards ramp, will then retreat towards B. And sure enough, it's just as Dazzle arrives with Ko. He's got the bomb behind him and a third man as well. Right now it's Moose to still keep his eyes on the flank like he was doing with Outer, but now inside of Hut. Certainly enough, Yugi is curious, and timing certainly gets the best of him. That's going to be the trigger for the push on Rise Nation. They'll stampede their way down towards B. There is still players lingering around here, so you've got to be cautious. That's Maudie. And instantly gone. Headshot from Ace. That's going to create the chance to plant the bomb. VSA gets it in. And the 3v3 here set to unfold, but Snappy's going to actually keep this a little quick. Gets closer towards the site where Dazzle finds him. Using the silo itself as a bit of cover. Can Yugi create the opening? VSA, playing Rainbow Six Siege, has blasted open the doorway.
It's a dirty angle, isn't it? But that's a big kill, as well as Nico once more left in a 1-on-3 situation. Coming through the vents, he wants that AWP, he wants to get out, he wants to get that back to Yugi. I think we are going to see a change up of pace as he saves this one, so next time round maybe a bit more aggression coming out from Heroic, because they are giving up gaps, right? Even though they had that trade outside with S-Tag, sure, he made his frag, but Nuke is a map where you have to plug the holes, you have to plug the gaps, and when they were doing that, the territory was taken, and Rise have been impressively able to find those gaps time and time again. If you want to change that, you take the fight to them early. You use your skill, you use your aggression, you allow Yugi to go for some sick flicks, some combat AWPing, all that good stuff. We'll be able to scrap together another buy here. Not scrapping together at all, it's a full buy. We got everything, all the go gear, smokes, flashes, molotovs, nades, kits, everything across the board for Heroic, and nothing too different. The same again. They're giving us a very cut and dry version of the game here.
feel like it is fair enough to see Rise Nation in this position, not knowing when they'll be on a stage of this caliber yet again, so making the most of it, right?
Definitely. So this is their Super Bowl, right? You got to give it your all right now, but Yugi peeking up from Secret is going to take down Moose, who has been a bit of a menace on that silo. And this is where normally Rise have been able to find space. They've been able to find that gap and get a frag and then take some map territory, but that hasn't to be this round. The wall smoke will come out. They do want to go for that control, and this time with numbers, not just John G on his own.
Still spots the feet though, tries to spray continuously through, and it's just damage, no frags off of it. 3 players from Rise Nation able to creep their way downwards. But again, they have that man on the opposite side of the site still, right? Dazzle's over towards ramp, so he's now looking for an opening, kind of in the same fashion that Jonji had done just a couple of rounds prior. Unfortunately for him, or not, he still wins the duel. But what about Modi? He's going to keep himself tucked away in Toxic.
The thing is, Modi's in a great position if they just go into the site and plant, but he has no information. Snappy's the one who's out on the fact-finding spree. They know it's going to be under now as Dazzle throws that window smoke. They're running into the site. Snappy from behind is going to take one. The door opens, swings wide, and Modi with one, almost with the second. Pinned to the bomb box is VSA, but a nice shot there. Giving Rise a lifeline in this round.
That definitely bails him out with little HP left over. He's very much pinned into this gunfight. He'd love to take somebody with him, but EC Tag clears it as he swings the doors wide, and Jonji trades with one already. He's gonna need 2 more in a 1 versus 3 clutch. Knows a man's in vent, spots the player on site, and deals damage, but it's still gonna be Nico to take him. He scrambled, and it cost him. Snappy takes the defuse, and Heroic finding those double digits will keep Rise at 3.
Very flustered there towards the end, that quick switch bane of his existence. If he had made that frag, that could have been on like Donkey Kong, but Heroic with a much-needed round there. This could have definitely run away from this half. It's 10-3 now. It could have been a 9-6 if they weren't able to capitalize there. A pause will be taken from Heroic. It's a little tactical just to reassess, talk through how they're going to approach this one.
You know, I feel like there's actually a wild amount of similarities to draw between the first half of the first half of the Inferno game, and then also on Nuke. Like, the fact that Pistol came so incredibly close, they weren't able to win it out because Heroic come off of the back foot and still pick up the win.
Sure.
That obviously then translates into early momentum. A reset as well occurs finally when Rise Nation get a couple of rounds on the board on Inferno. This case, it was just that one.
Yep.
And then as well, we get these kind of mid-round moments where Rise Nation look like they figured it out, but still can't just finish off the rounds. Very, very similar stuff.
They're doing a good job at grinding hard, right? Like, I think that's something which you have to look at for these guys is as a positive. The mid-round, the fact that they're able to make the decisions, the fact they're able to do all the hard work, which is where most teams fall down, is such a huge positive. They don't seem to have anybody who's standing out as hugely flary to open up rounds time and time again, to go for those kind of plays that we look to like a Simple or someone along those lines who's just a fragger. They seem like they just want to go with a cut and dry, fundamentally sound version of the game, team-based Counter-Strike, right? Which is, it is a team game, that's what it's all about, and Yugi's going to be creative with the wall of smokes and a Molotov that he should be able to pick behind and be in his advantage, but gets extinguished, and 4 terrorists coming his way. Will he repick? Do it, Yugi, you know you want to. Nah, he says. He gets the opening once more from that position. He did the same thing earlier on, and it wasn't a round where Rise were able to convert, so
I feel like it's just a really good way to counter what was pretty regular positioning from Moose above, right? You get the cover of the staircase, the distance on the op, and sure enough, it did stop them. But VSA will respond eventually. Only good for one as Dazzle's left over. In a very difficult position. I mean, poor guy doesn't even have the bomb. He's been spotted, he's being boxed in, scrambling with Molotovs, fumbling with grenades, and sure enough, as he exits, Modi is just already there, so limited footing.
If they can grab a 4th in this half, that'd be pretty impressive, all things considered. And, you know, their CT side they didn't have a lot of success on, but nor did Heroic on the first map. So it's hard to really paint the picture of, will they do it poorly again? Will Heroic come at them with the same ferociousness that they had on their tier side with Inferno? There's a lot of question marks right now, but Rise have done enough to show that they are capable of fragging and they understand the game on a deep enough level to make some good decisions. Is that a wireless mouse?
I didn't see. Maybe.
It's just beyond me. I don't think all 11 makes sense to me. Anyway, last round. 3 CZs, UMP, Deagle in the hand of Dazzle. It looks like they want to do a top pounce. They want to go with a bit of an explosion here. This has been called on the fly. Jonji's got a lot of territory early, but Snappy stands. He delivers. The rest of the attack will come in momentarily, and Snappy once again ready to receive. Spams down one. Knows more are there, but Nico's there to back him up with 2 of his own. And Ace, not in the hole. Goes down. 12-3 half there in the favor of Heroic. Got to be happy with that one if you're a fan of Modi. There's probably quite a few Modi fans out there.
There should be.
The only Swede.
I don't hear any cheers.
No, I don't know if we can hear much through this box anyway. All right, Nuke. Let's set the scene. Let's paint the picture. Let's Bob Ross this. It's a map where you can expect very hefty CT sides. 12-3 is definitely not out of the ordinary. We did see some competitive rounds coming out from the side of Rise Nation, but to be fair, Heroic just looked like they're going through the paces. It didn't look like they were throwing anything too exciting at this Rise Nation unit. We're going to move over to the T side, where I think they're going to be taking a bit of pace, you know, going with a bit of a fire in the belly to close this one out as quickly as humanly possible.
I feel like they were a little conserved, actually, on at least this opening bout. I mean, Rise Nation, I think 2 notable gun rounds could have gone their way. The 8th one, when we get that 1 versus 1 situation, of course, and then the 12th, when we see the last man down towards decontamination just kind of get flustered into the waiting hands of Nico. That's, of course, 5 gun rounds that definitely could have been theirs. Then it's the pistol. I think that's really the big opportunity, right? Unfortunately, Heroic's pistols have been on point this tournament, winning 4 of the 5.
It's quite nice. Definitely helps in best of 1 scenarios.
Looking for another.
It's going to be a top split here. They've... is it going to be a top split, or I've been lied to? Okay, so they've opted for the wall smoke. They have 2 Molotovs. I suppose they'll be used towards vent once they actually grab seeker control. Nice and quietly here, sneaky beaky-like. 4 members of Heroic are making their way down. They're going to get greeted by no one. It's almost a free run through the back holes. Retake is definitely the plan from Rise Nation.
We praise Heroic and their ability to take this B bomb site, right? So they'll do it in the pistol. They've certainly got their numbers on site. John G getting numbers and damage, but no frags until finally pops the head of Nico. Snappy could be up next. He's got a teammate already trying to get inwards, and that is Moose. Dazzle as well finding one. So here we have it. Rise Nation going through the motions, and Dazzle with another. Of course, they hear the doors, so they know that somebody's going to be committed in, and it's just Yugi toying with them as he bursts away the first.
Sit in the defuse, it's all over.
Oh.
Yeah, bad plant. They didn't have everybody ready for that one. They lost all their players in the back fence section, and they weren't able to stop that defuse coming in. That's a hard way to do it, but Yugi once again delivering on the pistol round.
That's a wild situation whereby, yet again, it's a 3 versus 5.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for the defuse, that pistol belongs to Heroic. We've seen similar stuff, but Rise Nation with a chance yet again to put up a respectful scoreline. Fast play.
Way in, yeah. This is definitely their way in. I think you bang on there. But does only grab one. He's going to get down to a Glock. BSA trying to mop the best he can, but Modi on the deagle. It's getting dicey.
Of course, just that footing down towards the B site as well that's been afforded over. Sure enough, not with the bomb. Could have ensured an easy bomb plant. But be cautious, Rise Nation, because Modi has himself the scout, and Snappy's got his eyes on the M4. Now he's got his hands on it. Even worse. One of those situations whereby Rise Nation could very easily just assert the health advantage and win these duels, and then there's no more threat. It's over with, and this is all just like false worry. But at the same time, it's just going to take a headshot from Modi, Nico to continue his creep around, and maybe even Snappy to jump in on the rifle.
You get so sketchy in these kind of environments, right? Because there's so many different ways that you can make your way around. Your approaches could be coming from anywhere, and the T's are relatively strung out. Jonji's about to get himself in a duel with Snappy, who's jumped up on the railing. He's spotted the leg. Bullets are exchanged, and time is now the enemy. I think we're down to just about 30 seconds. Modi finding that headshot you spoke of, but Jonji swiveling around finds Nico, and this should be it. This should be the cleanup with the MP9.
Yep, there we have it. John G having, I believe, heard the reload of Snappy as he jumps in from the generator. For that reason, he's prepared for the gunfight. Had they been able to pinch in between both Mini and Heaven, well, then that's a whole other story, and maybe Rise Nation continue to fumble in that round. But they seal the deal. They get their 5th on the board, and they keep Heroic at bay for now. But it's going to be a much more difficult job, seeing as they do come in with the AK-47s and a whole collection of grenades here. This is the real test, Rise Nation. Do you have it in you? It's an early flash and an ambitious movement from Moose. Charges his way towards Secret Stairs, and will find Sanctuary for now. Heroic yet again, just playing patient and setting up. This is what we saw in Inferno. Methodic T-sides.
Some would argue boring Counter-Strike. But no, they're doing all the right stuff. That's bang on. And we are going to see the smokes ring out and ring true towards the yard. The bomb is heading in that direction, which leads to me that they want to go for that secret play where possible. They've gone for more isolation smokes as opposed to wall smokes. They're trying to pin back certain points of attack that give them a bit more steadying in the round. And they're going to make it through Annex. It's going to be a top split.
All right, Dazzle's still behind the vent. He's got that cover, peeks wide, finding the bomb carrier, and it's trades back and forth. So many across the kill feed. 7 frags almost instantaneously, but it does leave just Ace. Unfortunately for him, he's been spotted and he's pinned into the vent. Smoke gives a little bit of cover, but gunfire definitely not going to make him feel comfortable. And sure enough, Snappy finds it. There's Heroic already getting their round on the T side the moment they have guns, Chad. And I think that from here on out, it's looking dire for Rise Nation.
This is where losing so many guns to that eco really bites, right? The fact that they only had 2 guys survive, I talk about making sure that you're taking 3 players every single time, so it's harder to drop weaponry. You can see this scrappy buy coming out. 2 UMPs, the CZ, the Scout. It's not great. It's not where you want to be on the CT side of Nuke. Sure, the CZs can work wonders, those close-range duels, the UMPs as well. The distance isn't such a big deal, but if a team like Heroic keeps playing as fundamentally sound as what they have been, if they keep crossing their T's, dotting their I's, doing everything the way they know they should, Rise don't have anything to really pull out. You know, they don't have that AWP to find the opening kill. They don't have the M4s to get the multiple spray down. They need to find a timing, they need to rely on an individual play coming out here, and maybe Ace with the Scout could be that man.
Does have a little bit of spring in his step. Heroic again, just playing with time. An unsettling tension here blanketing the map. This Rise Nation are just set to wait, and Maudie then takes it into his own hands, pops Ace's head instantly, and then just charges his way down ramp. So Jonji's gonna call that the B site's in question, but it's in fact just gonna be 4 Ts that all peek wide, and Jonji's on full display, ready for the taking. As Dazzle and VSA, again, still armed with umps, are really going to be the only line of defense. You can't help but feel like Moose won't be doing much in this one. Rise Nation not doing much either, as Heroic have now found the plant in a 5 versus 3 situation. Difficult spot for them to find themselves in here. They are just going to continue to tumble one by one, and sure enough, Heroic get themselves that much closer to victory lane.
They're making it hard for us to get the hype happening, aren't they? Those exchanges where we had where they traded 1 for 1, it's too quick to cast. The rest of it is just slow, methodical, and well thought out. That it almost seems like they're just putting a puzzle together on a Sunday morning with their coffee, right? So yeah, we need some action. We need some hype. We need to get the people here at DreamHack Winter Jönköping 2017, brought to you by Astro. A bit of hype. We need the action. We need the fire. Maybe we'll get it in the next game. Getting a little bit ahead of myself, I think.
I think Big and North Academy could certainly deliver. Right now, however, we'll see if the team who came through the North American qualifier can find themselves some more rounds. It's desperate.
You have to buy. This is dire, right? The next round, you're not going to have any money anyway. What, you're going to have 3.9, maybe 4.1 as the most. You can get an M4, some armor, maybe grab yourself a smoke grenade.
It's confirmation bias, Sponge. It's whereby, because they played this very, very conservative trend of purchase on Inferno, and they made it all the way back to the 30th round, that they think they can do it yet again.
Well, I think it's like one of those things. You're doomed if you do, you're doomed if you don't, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, you can argue from a fundamentalist standpoint that what they're doing is fantastic and they should get massive props for it. The other side of things is they are, okay, I'm going to give this round to Heroic. They're 1 round away from being knocked out of the tournament. It's been a fantastic learning experience for them. They've shown me what they've got, getting swifty with it. And I think, you know, that there's positives here to take. There's definitely pats on the back required, and I think, you know, it just, do you fight or do you play fundamentally sound Counter-Strike, which will probably help you down the line? Well, yeah. They've gone for that option, which is hey, that's something in itself. Admirable.
Using this 15-5 opportunity for what it really could be.
Last chance to learn, man. Here we go.
That's what spankings are supposed to be about, right? Lessons?
Mine's normally just for pleasure, but hey.
Not too much pleasurable about this for Rise Nation. Not thus far, but at least they've got some guns. They've got another chance to give us a showing here. We've seen highlights of individual prowess. Give us something to talk about. Heroic yet again, just very easily taking that secret control. Rise Nation not having much stance on that outer yard, offering up the footing for Heroic. Offering up the frag. Smoddy with a headshot kicks this one off. And sure enough, Ace can respond back as the utility continues to trickle forward. Smoke grenade to cover the plant. Does Junji try to stop it? Yes. And he does actually. That puts a bit of a wrench in the works. But Junji's then cleared out from behind, and it's still the man advantage back for Rise Nation. That's now turned to even keel. Nico controlling the vents and controlling the bomb will find this plant. So 2v2. And Rise Nation looking at elimination right now.
No kids, mate.
Gonna have to play quick. They do have the utility for it, but Moose just skewered by Nico. Stood atop the...
Sink?
Yeah.
Trough.
That's a good one. Now Ace, again, no kit here, so his hands are so tied. He's got no idea if there's anybody in Toxic. He's just gonna have to charge forward, and it's desperation sinking in. He's gonna try for the defuse. They're gonna spray him down, and Heroic will eliminate Rise Nation from DreamHack Winter. The first victims of this tournament have fallen, and they come from across the pond. An excellent attempt on Inferno to make that comeback happen. Their pick. They tried, Chad, they tried.
I'm
not enough.
I'm happy Snappy